The lyrebird can mimic songs and noises. The superb lyrebirds of southeastern Australia are vocal learners. They work their magic by attempting to mimic at least 80% of any sounds it hears, including electronic shooting games, workman, or even chainsaw. The ancient Egyptian sky god of endlessness is named Ha. Ha was one of the original gods in ancient Egyptian history, which personifies infinity or eternity. He is often depicted as a frog-headed human, or a man crouching and holding a palm stem in each hand or just one hand. His image is often found on amulets, prestige items, and royal iconography. The internet was originally called ARPANet. Can you live without internet? Well, I cannot. Thanks to the Advanced Research Projects Agency, or ARPA, an arm of the U.S. Defense Department, funded the development of ARPANet, or Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, in the late 1960s. Its initial goal was to link computers at Pentagon-funded research institutions over telephone lines, and then they expanded to the purpose of communication among scientists. Coca-Cola originally contained cocaine. Invented in 1886 by John Pemberton, a pharmacist from Atlanta, Georgia. His recipe contained cocaine in the form of an extracted coca leaf, which inspired the coca part of the beverage's name. The cola part came from the cola nut, which contains caffeine. At the time of Coca-Cola's invention, cocaine was legal and a common ingredient in medicines. It was thought not to be harmful in small doses. A giraffe can clean its ears with its 21-inch tongue. Tallest mammals on Earth, a heart that weighs about 11 kilograms, and a tongue that can average from 18 to 21 inches long are just some of the unique characteristics of a giraffe. But let's just focus on their huge and long tongue. Its color is purple-bluish or almost black due to the quantity of melanin present that protects it from the sun. The inside of a giraffe's mouth is covered with hard, finger-like papillae, which protects it from getting cuts and injuries when feeding on thorny branches like acacias. Other than that, they also make good use of its tongue by cleaning its ears out and even nose. Barbie doll's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts from Willows, Wisconsin. Wait, Barbie had a last name all this time? Yes, you heard that right! Barbie was invented by Ruth Handler in 1959 and named after her daughter Barbara. She was then introduced to the toy industry during the New York Toy Fair. Ken, Barbie doll's boyfriend, joined her in 1961 and was named after Handler's son Kenneth. Birds need gravity to swallow. Birds do not have teeth and does not really chew its food down to bits like humans do. So, they just depend on gravity to push their food from the throat down to the muscular pouch located in a bird's neck called crop, then later propelled into the stomach by waves of peristalsis. A snail can sleep for up to 3 years. Just like many other animals, snails can also shift to hibernation when weather conditions are not favorable or extreme factors threaten their survival. When the weather is just right, snails can also follow a pretty regular sleeping schedule. There are about 20,000 species of bees, but only one kind makes honey. Can you guess it? It's the honeybee. Pretty obvious, right? The genus Apis, into which all honeybees fall, is a beautifully diverse bee species with at least 44 known subvarieties. They are all united by traits of honey or waxcomb production and living in a colony with a queen. Honeybees are also known for their cool dance moves called the waggle dance. Moving in a figure of 8 motion, the bee wiggles their body in the direction of food. The longest-lived insect is a termite. Long live the queen! Termite queens have the longest known lifespan of any insect. Some queens reportedly living up to 30 to 50 years, while the workers and soldier termites can only live up to 2 years. The Dead Sea is not really a sea at all, but rather a salt lake. Despite being called the Dead Sea, this body of water is actually a hypersaline lake. It is called dead because its high salinity prevents macroscopic aquatic organisms such as fish and plants from living in it, though little quantities of bacteria and microbial fungi are present. Turtles can breathe through their butts. Technically speaking, this hind end isn't a butt or anus. It's a cloaca, and this breathing process is called cloacal respiration. It allows turtles like Australian Fitzroy River and the North American eastern painted turtle to stay underwater during hibernation or when they need to hide from their predators for days. The oldest version of Cinderella's story was recorded by the Roman historian Strabo in the 1st century BCE. There are over 700 versions of Cinderella that have been collected from around the world. But the tale of Greco-Egyptian girl named Rhodopis is considered as the oldest known version of the story. The national animal of Scotland is a unicorn. With Scotland being famed for their adoration of myths and legends like ghosts, witches, magic water monsters, and more fairy folk, it is no surprise that a fabled creature such as the unicorn is their national animal. In 15th century, James II wholeheartedly embraced the legend, and the unicorn became the symbol of purity and power that Scottish kings and nobility represent. Hi! If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, kindly press the bell icon for future videos. Thanks! We feel hangry because it's harder for us to control our emotion when our brains are low on glucose. Hangry, the combination of hungry and angry, turns out to be a real thing. And there is a physiological reason why some people get angry when they're hungry. When you haven't eaten for a while, the level of sugar in your blood decreases, and when it gets too low, it triggers a surge of hormones, including cortisol, a stress hormone, and adrenaline, the fight or flight hormone. These hormones are released into your bloodstream to raise and rebalance your blood sugar. How to avoid feeling hangry? Simple. Don't skip meals and stay hydrated.